So this is where the video starts. You picked Urgot. Oh, we can mute this as well. So you picked Urgot in here. Now we're trying to go for a level 1 cheese. Often these cheeses can be quite inconsistent because pretty much everybody knows where Urgot could possibly cheese. So it's something that sort of is waste of time, but you can position in here so you can level 1 zone. Now the issue with your level 1 zoning, it sucks, like you can actually completely zone away Shen, but your problem is that the minions always aggro on you. So there is a interesting mechanic on Urgot. So every time you basic attack, a leg procs, so you need to proc 1 or 2 legs, preferably 2 legs, The reason why you wanna proc 1 leg or 2 legs, you can even proc it on 1 minion, it doesn't matter. So you want to have 2 legs that are not empowered. They are not turned on, The reason for that is, if you basic attack Shen with a leg on, the minions will trigger on you. If you don't, then the minions won't, Because it counts as an extra effect, So the more continuously you damage someone, the more likely the minions gonna aggro on you, So for example, in here you can even abuse like your level 1 in a similar way as this LeBlanc does. You can see this. And look, the minions aggro, but they don't.
Can you stream for me, because I don't see it?
Oh wait.
Oh
yeah. Wait. Hold on.
It's okay.
What did I say? Yeah. Oh yes, let's go back to you. So yeah, so now you can see it with your eyes what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, so in here, like, even in here, your level 1 zoning should actually work, or even if you can't completely zone him up, he should lose a lot of HP. So let's talk about your level 1 options. So one of the options is to late invade. Often Urgot can be a really strong level 2 champion, so generally you will be able to win a 2v2. Especially if they use their abilities on the buff, that means they are even more vulnerable, so even champions such as Jax can be beaten. If you wait 1 or 2, 3 seconds, let's say, after the buff spawns, they should generally use their abilities and then you can collapse with your cane. That's one of the options that you late invade. Even Twisted Fate could possibly join you guys, right? Now, say the mid laner could rotate, but the thing is, as fast as you kill the enemy jungler or the enemy top laner, likely it will be a 2v2 right after, or you guys disengage in some way if the enemy mid laner is not like really insane at collapsing on you guys, Now, the other option is you can actually level 1 gank bot lane. Which can be actually quite good with certain champions. With Jhin and Zilean, it's questionable if you want to do so. The reason for that is they don't have enough CC, neither damage. But for example, I'm gonna show you a Shen example. You can do the same thing on Urgot, because you can E-flash on Urgot, or you can E as well if people are face checking, which again is totally fine. You don't always have to give up your flash.
Now level 1 ganking with Shen, basically you're giving your wife the cheat pass. She can go to whoever you see.
Okay, so in here we can see like let's go back a tiny bit. So in here I taunted. Let's go a tiny bit back again. So if they face check, you don't have to flash, right? So in here I basic, but I focused Vayne, The reason for that is, well, she's the AD carry, she's squishy, right? Now in here it was a little bit inconsistent, but we had an Ashe which constantly slows, so that allowed us to sort of kill the enemy Vayne, That's the drill. But there are more consistent ways to actually like kill the enemy bot laners. For example, I had at the time a Thresh and a Draven. Now Thresh is again really insane. There are like sort of CC oriented hard CC supports like Morgana as well. These type of champions will allow you to go for a really smooth level 1 gank. Let me find you actually video if I can. I have like bunch of those videos in here. So where the hell did I post it? So only a scripter actually could tell that I'm level 1 ganking. So this is one of the better examples, And you should also tell your bot laners to position upper, because if you have a hooking champion like Thresh, if they position upper, they're gonna position downwards the enemy team, Because they don't wanna, they can't get hooked this way, from Thresh from their minions,
Yeah, so, makes sense.
So then they will walk into you, so you don't have to give up your flash, So, but once you need to be careful, because if you don't have either a strong early bot laners, Or if you have such champions as Yumi and Thresh, then that's not really great. Not Yumi, I mean Yumi and Zeri. They don't have CCs, they don't have much damage, so you can't really do it with them. Generally, you can do it with them.
This side, right? But if they hover
So let's skip a tiny bit again.
position, he is not slashes there, right? So in
Just explaining the
so
position
it-
in
it's
here in the
really
video.
hard to read.
And now what happens, Thresh can give up his flash, it's not a big necessity, depends. In here, I walked out a tiny bit out of the bush, I could ban E from the bush. And so in here
I should ban E him.
I should ban E from in the bush, right? You can E flash or you can E as well on Urgot, you know. Then the support follows it up.
But it's really hard to react that.
Yeah.
And I even told him
It's really hard to react to it because it's really random, you know. Like even if I walked out of the bush, it's like really random, you know. So people won't like flash it up straight up because they have to like click with the situation, you know, of what's going on. And in here the
Yeah.
guy just simply gets killed, you know.
It's unexpected, yeah. I have to admit it. I never thought about it.
And in here he just gets killed. Let me show you how we killed her. Just I guess you kinda can see it with your eyes, you know.
And in here we got this one.
Yeah.
There's no escape. There's no escape because Urgot has even more damage than Shen does actually in the early levels with his E-stars, so that makes it a little bit more potent, you know. Then again, Urgot, like, you're gonna be like one level down if you do this, but it's not a big deal because you're gonna TP pack and Urgot is ranged and Shen isn't, so you still can sort of like CS with your ranged basic attacks, you know, until you catch back to level 2, you know, so it's less of an issue on Urgot, you know.
Mhm.
And this is the general play you should do to play for the map. This is one of the power plays you can go for as a top laner because you sort of have to impact as soon as possible the map. That's how you can basically win the map, right? So this is what I wanted to explain you another thing about your legs. So funny enough, ironically enough, you don't wanna like play around your legs, so you don't wanna proc all of your legs, and that's how you should like fight Shen early on. But I wanted to show you should proc 2 legs at a time because the issue is for example, if you're basic attacking Shen with any of these legs that are turned on right now, the minions will aggro you because your basic attack plus your passive are 2 damage instances, you know, right? They're 2
Okay.
different damage types, but if you just basic attack him without the passive, the minions don't aggro on you, so it means you can pressure him deeper, you know. So
Okay.
in the early game, if you can't all-in someone, you should aim to actually proc the 2 legs, ideally. 2 legs, so you can really easily zone away the Shen. So in here, again, like you could ban proc that leg as well on a minion, and then you can pressure as much as you want to the Shen with these 2 legs, you know.
Okay. Yeah, now I know.
Because I don't think so I showed you the video, but this is how it works. So even on mid lane, I don't think so I didn't show you this video, so this is how you do it. But you got watch out on the minions, by the way. So there will be some dots on the minions. Look at the minions in here as well. And you can see he basic attacks. There is 1 dot on the minion, I'm not sure you can see it.
Yeah, we see it.
And there needs to be like at least 3, you know. And they don't aggro on him, right? Because he has like, he only applies 1 instance of damage, he doesn't use his abilities, and he gives a little bit of space in between every basic attack so the minions don't trigger, you know. You see this?
Mm.
There is like
Okay.
there is like a small delay, you know.
Yeah.
And so since like most of the melee champs won't win into a level 1 Urgot, even if you're layering your basic attacks and you kite them, it generally means this will be a good way to avoid getting poked by minions, you know. But this is something I actually kinda have to learn, you know. And in here he commits with an all-in even if the minions aggro on him because he proc the electrocute, he got his E off,
这没练的。
right? So that's the drill, you know. Okay, but let's get back to your Urgot in here. So these are the 2 tricks I showed you in here. These are 2 other tricks you can abuse early on. Okay. So in here you pressure him, that's good. So in here you didn't get his empowered Q. I don't know why you didn't E him in here. Why didn't you just E him?
Because of the shield, and I wanted to
Doesn't
poke
matter.
him more.
It doesn't.
Oh.
It does not have his empowered Q, you know. So even if he has his empowered Q, it doesn't matter because he will be zoned away from his own minions because he will be bounced back, you know, right?
Yeah.
Because AoE abilities don't trigger the minion aggro actually, you know. And your E is
Yeah.
an AoE ability. Now the other reason for that is you're just gonna stomp him, you know, like you're gonna take a lot of his HP away if you E him right now. Like this shield shouldn't discourage you from Eing. Because you're gonna
Okay.
get a shield as well, no?
Yeah, exactly.
So is not something you should be scared of, you know. Like, I know you wanted to wait until it drops, but then you could just simply walk towards him and basic attack him and proc PTA exactly when it's about to expire or something, you know. But you don't want to play this defensively, because that shield doesn't mean shit, you know. That actually does not mean shit there, you know.
Yep.
So in here you eat, but I guess you got like one minion with it, and you basic attacked him once, it maxed twice. Do you get PTA? No, you don't. Yeah. Those type of fees are not worth, because now you can't really keep the pressure on, you know. As much as you did with your E being on, right? Also, early on you should volley as much as possible CSing into Shen if you can't all-in him. One basic attack actually heals him, you know, that's the thing. And if you basic attack a minion and one leg procs on him, that's gonna 100% heal him more because it does not deal too much damage. So, against champions that go second win D-shield and have some form of shield or healing sustain, you should aim to volley more CSing than just one basic attack trade, because eventually you're gonna heal it up and you want to be ahead with CS, because on Urgot you kinda rely on having gold, and you just need that gold in on Urgot. So he flashes Yuri, that's great. I don't think Slay would die from that, but he would lose a lot of HP. Okay, now it's weird because I wouldn't always go W second, honestly. In fact, some games you can even make your arguably your Q first, you know. For example, there are some champions that sort of distance themselves out of your E range, but in your Q range, you know. So, for example, you face a kill, you know, he won't walk into your E just randomly, you know. Or other champion like Garen, you know, or other champion like Shen. Now, just because you started with your E, it doesn't mean that you are allowed to all in you. But for example, a Darius, if you start with your Q into a Darius and not with your E, he can kill you, you know. So there are some specific examples that can checks as well, right? So there,
Yep.
Tryndamere if he has Fury, but not all of them. Some of them are weak. So why do you want to Q start? If you start with your Q, if you manage to basic attack the enemy Shen, you Q him, you can swing in 2 more basic attacks, which means you're gonna proc PTA as well, you know, with the help of slow. So, because they won't like position in a way that you can get a knee on them, you know, that's the thing. Like you can get a basic attack off, but you can't get a knee off. So, level 1, you kind of wanna hold into your abilities and observe what you can do. If they're overstepping, you want to E start. If not, you can Q start, you know, because often you're just poking level 1, except in some games where of course your E forces some champions to play differently, like a Darius. He won't all in you because your E is there, you know, but some champions are weak early on, you know. Like a Cho'Gath is a prime example as well, right? Okay, so in here he pulled his sword. Another thing I forgot to mention, so seemingly this Shen, we don't really know if he leashed or not. He appeared from the top side of the map, he lost some degree of HP, but it kinda looks like he didn't really leash, right? So it generally means you're weak-sided, and if you remember, you were really deep in here, you know? Like, it looks like you're weak-sided right now, we don't exactly know, but it looks like you're weak-sided. And we can observe as well if the enemy bot laner is gonna arrive late, right? Which I forgot to mention early on, because that's like how your laning phase is dictated, you know? So say, if you are weak-sided, that can be really good actually. But then you should then probably just tell your Kayn to either like... What you could also do, just sneak in a ward, you know, in the enemy like blue early on. Because you can simply... They don't have really a hard engage on you, you know. Even if Shen is you could E out, you know. So you could like sneak in a ward. Which means that we're gonna have like a better early game agency. Because then we know if we can invade with Kayn or not, you know. Because you're gonna have 100% priority over this guy. Then you are strong at invading. You can even solo invade, you know, if you have mid prio by chance, you know. Sometimes you can do it alone as well, and some junglers go really low when they reach the blue and the Grom point, you know. So it's sort of like gives them an ultimatum. Like even if they rotate, they're gonna lose CS, and then you're gonna rotate up, you know. So sometimes it's just they don't have a choice, you know. Okay.
Yep.
But in here it looks like you were weak-sided, and as you're weak-sided, you sort of want to, like, when you're this deep in lane, you can't really, like, leave this area unwarded, you know?
I wanted to create a slow push and then just reset. That was my idea, and if they tried something, I could be one, maybe. Because of the slow push, that was my idea. I knew that I was weak side. When I saw Shen
Right, then you
on
should ban
top
double
side.
in. You see where your wave is in, no? Then you could then just shove this wave in as well with your auto attacks and W. And then what you could do, you could just walk downwards and ward, you know, the river.
Okay.
So that would be more ideal if that's what you wanted to do, if you were well aware that the enemy jungler is actually batting towards you, because then you had your own space, you know, to do so. Um,
Mhm.
but now that you pushed it so slowly, it just stopped in here, you know. So if you pushed everything a bit faster, then it wouldn't stop in here and probably everything would be out inside, you know. Then
Yeah.
the wave just sort of bounces back from that point, and we are in a less of an awkward spot, because this spot is really awkward for us because we don't have vision. Shen has a taunt, you know, and you could get ganked on any time, you know. So this kind of sucks. And as see, this is what I told you by the way earlier. Look at his HP. So I've been telling you can poke him as much as you want. If he has second wind and D shield, he's gonna most likely heal almost everything up, you know. You need to hurt him really badly so that he doesn't heals up. That's why I said like you should value more CSing over pokes, cause you see I don't know what level he is because this video is really blurry, but it's like I think he's 2, right? Am I correct? I don't
Yeah.
see it.
Yes, level 2.
Level 2, right? So he's almost full HP, you know? That's why I said like against these D-Shield second win users, one basic attack is often not worth if you trade it off for a CS, you know? It's just like in long term, like you gonna recall, he gonna recall, he's gonna have more gold, you know? And that won't be fun, you know? Because if you can't really force a dive on him, which you can't on Shen, then it's not really worth to go for trades, you know, like this. Because he has a tiny bit of HP missing, but we lost like bunch of CS, you know? Like if the guy had like D-Blade, it would be like a D-Blade champion where your poke kinda like sticks to his HP, you know, and it doesn't get regenerated. Then we could either set up a dive or maybe force him to be with a big wave under his tower, so he loses out some of the XP, right? But other than that, it's not really that worth, you know.
Mhm.
Shen is just one of those, you know. He has a shield as well, he has a W as well against basic attacks. Like he's one of those guys you don't really spaces really well as well with his 200 basic attack range from his Q, you know, from your basic attack poke, so it's like hard to actually like get value out of poking. So now you set it up some wards. Okay. So he's level 4 right now, you pressed your Q. Wait, how did this Rengar appear? Didn't he have a ward or where did this guy even appear from?
I was going for the minion and then I saw him
I
from
don't
behind
know.
from our jungle and I was like, wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where he appeared from. Oh yeah, so you kinda noticed it, but you were kinda... Oh, but you turned back as well. I guess
I
you
wanted
didn't...
to basic. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't saw him.
So your eyes
I
should be
didn't
like on the
expect it.
wards as well, you know, you don't really just place them down, that's the thing, so even in here you could ban actually just E away and cancel yourself out of his thing, you know?
Yeah.
Or either you could, if let's say like per moment Rengar wasn't here, that's how you kinda counter a Shen's taunt. Usually they taunt through you and not in front of you, so you could just E backwards and then you, while you're taunted, you can basic attack him and he will be also stunned and you get the shield, you know? That's like a
Yeah.
way to counter his E, you know?
There I burn flash.
So you just burn your flash and we survive. Yeah, okay. We survive. Also, like, I don't know if you really wanna go D-Blade, honestly. Cause you don't actually need it against Shen, as I feel like. You can either get Kal or Longsword. I don't think so you ever need the 80 HP from D-Blade to survive into Shen, you know? Especially if the guy doesn't place Ignite, you know? Like, if you place Ignite, I would maybe go D-Blade. But other than that, I wouldn't, you know? Because, like, even with the longsword, you're just still lane dominant enough, you know, and you can also invest that gold into something when you recall, you know. So, it's like, I don't think so. It doesn't even heals you more than, like, a longsword and 3 pots, you know. So, in really easy early game matchups where you're gonna mostly scale and keep your pokes on, you don't necessarily need D-Blade. I think you need D-Blade against some type of all-in matchups, but in here you're the only one that's all-inning, you know. He's mostly defending himself. And Kyle always heals you more, you know, than the other, like D-Blade early on. That's the thing, you know.
Yep.
Okay, so in here the game goes on. It's walking top lane.
here with the burn flash.
Yeah, yes, we know how to do this one. He had to flash, so we have a disadvantage right now. Okay. Okay, so I don't really see the chat, but you should be named to ping that Shen and that Rengar if that was possible, because recently both were here and they are fishing for a fight right now, you know, so besides like CSing, that's what you could do to comprehend your teammates from dying, you know, because they don't expect the Shen to be randomly there, you know. Oh, he actually turned back, okay. Mm-hmm. So you clicked in here, but your mouse should constantly bounce in between Shen and you know. Depends where he can reach with taunt. For example, a maximum range taunt would only taunt from the front and not through you, you know. So your mouse should, even if you click backwards, your mouse should bounce really quick back, you know, to him if he taunts, you know. It's kind of like as if you would play Fiora, you know, because these are the situations you are fishing for, you know, to E. Now, it's sort of a reaction time or you can predict it, you know, up to you. It's kind of hard to react it when he's in a really close range though, but what you should do is just be in constant movement. For example, in here you had this random movement, you know, where you basic attacked a minion, you stepped up in his taunt range, and it wasn't even because you wanted to bait out his taunt to E him, he just somehow randomly stepped back from this position for no reason. Shen was C-writing, just to like basic attack a minion, and then we got taunted, you know. So that was like a random movement from your part, you know.
Yep.
Like look, it's you could then space it out better because you're ranged, you know. Like you don't need to go melee to like basic attack a minion. I think you basic attack this minion, am I right? You basic attack Shen, you know. You basic attack his shield, you know. Which is not really in here a minion. No, Shen again, but that's not worth, you know. Like you're not fishing for fights right now. That's the thing, cause he has a big wave. He he hard wins against you right now because you lose too much HP, you know. So you don't wanna like basic it. It's like you deal a little bit damage to his HP, but again the same thing. It's high risk, you know, and it's low value. You see, high risk and low value. That's the thing, you know. And then you don't wanna like risk your life for one basic attack, you know. That's the thing, you know. Nah, wait, he didn't pull his. Where is his? He didn't queue.
No, he didn't queue.
I don't know if he didn't have it or he didn't press it, but it's like you would lose. Maybe you would be even dead. I'm not sure, you know, but you would lose way more.
I think I would survive with my... But I was holding A because I saw Rengar in our jungle there at the Raptors, and he was moving towards me. I was like, okay, I have to stop this somehow.
So you should also like notice when does Shen E, you know, like for example at full HP I don't think so Shen would E you. That's the thing, but if you get to a lower HP level like right now, he's fishing for an E, maybe an E flash as well. So if he E's and he's in flash range, you could predict that with your own E, that's an option, you know, right now. But now if you can counter attack his E with your E, that could be a possible kill for you, you know. Oh, I don't like how you're walking in here. I think he could jump on you, the Rengar, you know.
I had E up, so I was just holding on my keyboard
I
only.
guess you could possibly him and...
And he took like 2 tower
it's
shots.
like he could
was
double
one
you.
HP.
What I'm thinking of, he could W it off, you know.
He doubled under the tower at the beginning to get his stacks.
Get a little bit poke on him.
I don't know if Rengar would be on the bush, so I was like, okay, I have to reset.
Yeah, that's kind of awkward as well, because he could be there as well if he wrapped around during this time, so that kind of sucks. Sucks a bit. Not much you can do about that right now. So Shen is there. Did he see your TP? Was he in range to see your TP? Let's check it. Let's see if he... I don't know from your...
He was on the on that melee, yeah.
I think he saw your TP, but I'm not I'm not sure if he saw your TP because your camera was in a random place, you know, on your tower, but if the thing is like you kind of want to bait a freeze, you know. This may also push anyways towards you, but you could let him push a little bit more, so it 100% pushes towards you, then you can TP and hold the wave and he cannot contest it, you know. So often, like if you have TP, you want to like bait the enemy top laner into pushing a little bit, so it will set up a freeze for us and then TP. Because if you straight up TP, then they won't shove the wave anymore. I'm not sure. Will this even freeze the wild here? It's really questionable. I'm not sure if this will even freeze, honestly. It could, but then again, your waves reinforcement is coming faster, so it's like not likely, right? Yeah, not likely because you have these legs as well. So I would just I don't know if Shen saw your TP because I like your camera wasn't on him, but if he saw it, then I think it was misplayed, you know, and you could then wait until he shoves and then you TP, you know. So now we trade well though.
Yeah, he was going to the river.
Okay. Let's rewatch it again. Let's see it again. So in here, you engage on him.
Like there I could E instantly.
So you got your W off though. That's great. But so basic attack.
I thought he would
I
cut
don't know
to
why did
the
you.
tower.
Yeah, I don't know why did you walk away from him instead of chasing him. Like in here, he walked back from this position. You know, I don't think so. He would win extended with a Bami Cinder and with your wave on his side. You know, that's the thing. You know. Also, PTA could reproc on him. You know, so I wouldn't disengage from the fight honestly. You know, because he disengaged towards his tower and he went downwards. You know. Maybe Rengar is here, but if you don't go too deep with Shen, then he can jump on you, you know, because you're ranged, so you can just basic attack him.
He had his stand up and I saw him using it and I was like, okay. That's why I didn't want to chase on the river, more on his tower side. Because maybe Rengar was there.
Yeah, but I feel like Torrance really didn't help you much, honestly. Like, I think you better be going off with Kal or Longsword, you know, like both of them are fine. If you feel like you can get early game kills on him, then you can get Longsword. If not, then just get Kal, you know. On Urgot, like, Kal is really good because of your W and you heal a bit more in the early game. You kind of like want to scale and CS, you know, so it's kind of like you don't really want to. Also in here I would just Q him, I wouldn't E. You know, where the enemy champion is walking, that's where their mouse is as well, you know. So as soon as he sees your E, he will E away, you know. So because his mouse is in position, because he's clicking this way, it's really easy for him to just E away from your own E, you know. Like for example, look, he basic attacks, he moves away. Now, logically what you should then do, when he was walking towards you and not after his basic attack, you could then E him there, you know. Because then it's harder to E away. You know?
Yeah.
Because his mouse is on you, so it's like sort of harder for him to E away. Because he's literally locked on like basic attacking you, you know, that's what he's focusing on to get the grass broke off, so. Okay. Also, don't Urgot players actually go presence of mind so you can bully more often in lane? It's
No,
like you
I am
almost
because of
always...
the...
It's like almost always you're gonna run out of mana, you know, as how I noticed on Urgot.
Yeah, but that's the problem only for early. For mid and late, it's more better triumph.
Now one other thing I like to do, you know, like when you're not doing anything, just permanently ping Shen's ultimate and tell your teammates it's up. It sounds really weird, but it's gonna be game saving, cause it's like, even if Shen's ultimate is there, it's something you constantly should tell your teammates, and that's gonna affect actually the game by a lot, and I mean by a lot, cause I know I played against a Shen, you know, one game I didn't communicate shit. The Shen got many ultimates off and I was communicating his ultimate. Like you should tell your teammates there are no 1v1s after Shen gets level 6, you know? And that's what, like what Kane couldn't understand, you know? Not sure if he died, but like
On mid
junglers,
game, I was
yeah.
spamming it, or on minute 10, I think. When I didn't saw him on lane.
Also, I don't know about rushing defensive boots, like do you really need those? Cause it's sort of a matchup you need to pressure early on and get the plates faster when he roams, you know? Don't know how much you really need plated steel caps against a champ that deals mixed AP and AD damage, you know, like he has some AD, but It's
I
like,
thought because I was weak side, because of that at least to delay in case of a gank. Some damage.
you could then hold the wave in here, huh, no? Or, I guess he would disrupt it,
Yeah.
But my problem is you weren't like looking to do it because you could then walk down, maybe ward Herald, do Herald, you know? So it's like, it's something it should be on your mind, you know? It's taking the ward out. I mean, you don't really want to control ward that area, you know? Like, against Rengar, you don't even ward this area. What you want to ward is these bushes, because this is where, the only place where Rengar would gank you, you know? Rengar
Okay.
players always lane gank, they don't really, it's really rare if ever a Rengar ganks from this area, except if he has his ultimate up, but even then he could possibly get a free gank off of bushes instead of like trying to fish for an ultimate, because when he ults in here, there is already a mark on top of your head, then you will run away, you know? So it's kinda hard to actually gank early on with Rengar's ult if you don't have insane amount of mobility, you know? So you should aim against certain junglers and in a certain position where Shen is shoving into you. It's more likely they're gonna lane gank you than as if they would actually gank you from these bushes, you know? Also, it's really unexpected, so that's why it's more risky. Now what do we have here?
I think that Rengar is still on top.
He's now
Because
both side with Kane, I think, or do I see it correctly? No, I think he's doing some
no,
one
they are
step.
tower diving the bot lane.
I don't know if that's the Rengar, cause oh yeah, it's Rengar, cause the video is
No,
a bit blurry. It was actually Rengar that killed Kane. Now I saw it. Yeah. Okay, so I mean that's not possible. You should be ping away to twisted or something. So now in here what we can do, we can't really pressure this Shen sadly, so what you should be aim to do, you could even let him freeze if that's what you want to. You can just aim to, when you have your flash up and Twisted Fate has a gold card in on mid lane, you could even gold card the enemy champion, you could E-flash it or just E it. When you have flash up and you're in a lane where there's no how hard you try, you can't kill Shen if he doesn't misplace like really badly, you know. So in this type of scenarios, you're looking to gank mid lane with your ultimate or with your E-flash or with both, you know, because there's no way you kill him, you know. So while you have your cooldowns up, you should use them, you know, in the game, because there are just simply like some matchups you can't kill like Shen, you know. It's just so non-interactive, you know, because Shen, what Shen does, he impacts the map with his ult, you know, maybe with his TP, right? And you don't. And if you don't impact the map, then the game's over, you know.
Yep.
So to match that in this type of scenarios, in this type of matchups, you should aim to go mid lane. Maybe if your jungler is around, like once you hit your ultimate, the slow is really big, you know, with the help of Kane or Twisted Fate, you could really easily catch up with your E to kill the Varus, right? Because there is no real way for Varus to get away from your ultimate, you know. I think he has cleanse, but he can't really cleanse off on Urgot ult, so it's like, should be an easy kill. Or alternatively to that, you could then also try to steal the enemy blue, you know. Because again, like this type of even trades are not great into Shen, because I think he has like the Bloodlust rune, D-Shield, Second Wind, Grasp, so he heals, you know. And it's like even trades are not that great, but now I think you out-traded him actually. Now, should ping your Kane and ping your flash, you know, and tell him you could E-flash, you know. And I wouldn't even overshove it, because if you overshove it, the minion's gonna be under tower, you know, and it's harder to kill Shen under tower with his W and shield up, you know. So what you should aim to do is just last it, ping Kane, ping your flash, you have ult up, you know. So if you E-flash this guy, which is really unexpected and it's rare if people ever react to it, you know, then it's 100% kill with the help of Kane and your ultimate, you know. So let's see if you do. So I don't like that you don't turn off the W sometimes. Because even if you clear minions, it's faster if you turn it on and off, you know. Okay, so that's good. That's good. We managed to pick him up. Okay. Because you see, like, even if you're clearing minions, you should aim to turn it on and off. Cause now we do actually. Okay. Could have take one more plate, honestly. Was there anybody around? Or?
Saw Varus rotating towards top, and I thought
Yeah, but he
Rengar
can't
would
kill
be with
you.
him
I
with
guess
ulti.
Rengar could be.
And I didn't
Otro.
want.
Yeah, he could be there, but he could be bot as well, huh? Oh, he's at Herald, if I see it correctly. He's there.
And ulti I pinged it out. I thought
Uh-huh.
it was on bot.
So now
And
you're
I saw
fighting
Varus.
here. Uh-huh. So you don't really Q, you did Q. So now what do? We kill the Rengar? Where is the Rengar? Good flash, that was really well played on your part. Now you could also pick up the Scuttle Scrap meantime, yeah. It's like that, you can just pop your legs off as well. Someone is TPing mid lane, people are fighting on mid side, so you could... Nah, it's nothing you can do, huh?
I saw Karma with the ult of Shen.
Yeah, there's not much you could do. Then you can just aim to shove and that's all about it, right? There's not much to do. Yep, he TPs, and at this point it's just pretty much you wanna back off, let his TP go on, and now what we want to do is just again like wait for Twisted Fate's ult, he ults on someone, you ult him as well when he gold cards and we get some picks, you know. We sort of want to play around two champions in the mid game, Twisted Fate. He can set up a possible all-in for us on an enemy champion, you know. Jin could also arguably W someone so we can catch up, you know. Alternative option, he can speed us up and maybe he could bomb the enemy team or someone. Or revive us if we go for some type of place, you know. Depends. So those are these are generally the three champions you can play around. You could also, again, like Kane, his E is just like gives a brain damage to people, like it's really hard for people to play around, so you could sort of bait for Kane, you know, because it's like so hard to respect the ability to ward against it, you know, so that's one of the options you could actually do, you know, like it's really hard for people.
Right there I had a little problem, like I didn't know if I should continue to invade or grab XP. I always turn back.
Well, it was risky to risk for more, you know, that's the thing, like getting a blue was a bit risky already, so you kinda like want to just get the blue and leave the area.
And right now I'm doing this because I saw Drake, I see everybody
Yeah.
positioning for bot side and I need some pressure here. And I know that Rengar should be top side.
Yeah, Shen arrived. Okay, I mean, do you have your item right now? Do you have enough money?
Yeah, I have enough money, but I was greeding.
Didn't Shen ult earlier on? I'm not sure if his ult is up actually.
He doesn't have ulti.
Yeah, then I would rotate for Drake honestly. You know why do I say that? Because our Rengar even ulted you, so you're a possible target for Rengar because you're isolated on top lane, you know. The other reason is Drake is up and Shen can't comprehend it. Also, even if Shen shows up on top lane, there are no plates and he has no pushing power. All he does is basic attack with like 80 damage or something, you know. So he's not like a Trundle, he's not like a Yorick, you know. So leaving a tank, and tanks don't scale well with gold either, you know. Even if the tower would be plated, they don't scale insanely well, you know. So what you could then actually do is just simply again just play around your teammates. Your ult is useless in lane, you know, as I said before, so you kind of want to play around your teammates with it, because Shen's gonna out-impact you and you lose, you know. That, like, you're on a race actually against Shen, you know, that's the thing. And if you don't play for the map, he's just gonna always out-impact people. That's a sad reality, you know. The same thing I do with Ornn, like, sometimes I can kill Shen, but it's mostly because they misplay, but often I just go mid lane, get an ult off, you know, do something. Because if you don't manage to, like, out-macro him, ping his ult or something, you know, then it's like always gonna be a lost game from the mid to bot, you know.
Yep. So I should rotate more for objectives.
Yeah, for objectives or for picks with your ultimates in these non-interactive matchups, because you're holding the ultimate for like 10 minutes, you know. Like in 14 minutes in the game you got like one ult off that killed someone, you know. I think you got one ult off if I'm correct, so you wanna have more agency, you know, that's the thing. Over the map. Okay, so people are fighting there, so you're looking to rotate. You arrived a bit too early though, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. I didn't exactly have info who's behind that bush, you know, but I think it was fine because only two of them were there. So I can pick this up, so what's your next item right now? Do you want to get Jack Show or...
Ravenous.
Rebel, oh, that's dog shit actually, I wouldn't go for that, honestly. It's not that great on Urgot. The thing is you're ranged, so it's nerfed, then next patch it's unbuildable on Urgot. The problem with the item is it's too expensive, your wave clear is already decent on this champion, you know. You have mostly AoE abilities, so you don't get too much value out of the Omnivamp. The other issue is just simple. We need resistances because you're like a melee range champion on Urgot, you know, like you're almost like a melee champ, so you can't really not build defensive stats against team comps that gonna one shot you, you know. Say they have a burst damage champion such as Varus, they have a Rengar, right? What else
Yep.
would they have there? Rest of
I
them
think
have
I
like some DPS, right? The interesting
yeah.
thing about Jack Show, it's not nerfed on ranged, right? That's the thing. It's not nerfed on ranged. And also, as Urgot, you are a range champion, so you can actually proc with your Q or with your basic attacks Jack Show before you get too deep in combat and you lose too much HP, you know, that's another positive about it. And they have like two champs that can burst a lot, you know, so I would, as a defensive item, you could actually like arguably build that, because your team sort of needs a tank this game, you know. Like, who's gonna face tank the Varus ult? If any of these guys face tank the Varus ult, then they're gonna be one-shotted, you know. So someone has to face tank something, you know. Then what else do they have? A Shen taunt, right? Or something, you know. Like,
Yep.
it's not good because if you ever get CC'd with Ravenous, you're dead because you don't have enough resistances, you know. Like, you can deal a lot of damage, but simply, it's like without your team you won't function anyways, you know, this game, you know. Like, Titanic is something sometimes Urgot players go for, but I don't feel like it's an Urgot item, Ravenous, honestly. Like, next match is something you should never build, honestly. Uh-huh. Larry texted me something, let's check. Oh yeah, messaging in the top lane chat was actually a good idea. I got good ideas, so let's see what you done in here. So you flash, that's great. And you don't do anything because you can't do anything about him. Now another item you could arguably build is Deadman's Blade, because they have bunch of AD champs and mobility is really valuable on your champ. But I suppose you already have like some champions that can provide you mobility or a way to catch up to the enemy team. So then again, like Jackshaw is my best offer, you know, right now. Like, you gotta build it before it's nerfed, you know.
Yep.
It's like, just because like your teammates need a meat shield right now, that's what they need. Someone with CC with some damage, but you kinda need a meat shield, you know, that's the thing. And if you can serve that purpose, then it just kinda sucks for the team, you know. You can also like soak those karma Qs, those empowered Qs with Jack Show, because they won't deal too much damage to you, but they will hurt a Twisted Fate or an AD carry, you know. So that's the drill, you know. Same
Yep.
as like all you have is plated steel caps, you know, and that's like most of your tankiness comes from, you know. That's about it, you know. So it sort of makes you still like highly vulnerable. I think it's just like too greedy of an item, Ravenous. Okay. So can we do anything about that fight? You could
Yeah.
walk down, you could ult something, no? I would aim to ult the Rengar when he has no passive, right? No
Yep.
ferocity. So what do we do here?
Actually, I was looking that
Ooh.
somebody was really squishy.
Yeah, that was a
Yep.
good pick. That was a good pick on your part. It was well played on your part, because it also disrupted the Baron. Now, alternative to this, if you had TP, you could then even TP the enemy base and get the 2 towers, you know? That would be like an alternative to this, of course. Because your teammates could possibly stall. The Kane was around to EW people, the Jin was catching up to W them zillion, you know, so that's like one thing you could do if all 5 of them were showing up, you know.
Yep.
Because then your teammates sort of like disallow them to also like just like, get Baron as well if they are in position. That would be like another alternative. Because Nexus is open until a TP Urgot, Twisted Fate, we also have a Kane. Then they can't really leave the base, and then it kinda sucks because they have to give up on some objectives, you know. It just becomes way more difficult for them to play the game overall, you know.
Okay.
Because every time they will be edged that you guys gonna backdoor, you know, so it's like an anxiety fuel for the enemy team. Okay. What do we do here? So we kill the Vayne, kill the king. So where's the guy? In the bush. Gotta eat him before he kills Vayne. Okay. Okay. So tip it for what? A minion wave?
Yeah, we couldn't end there.
I think you could better just walk for a wave, honestly. I don't like what can we get? Can we get a tower? I don't I don't think so that was worth, you know, TP. Okay. That wasn't like that worth that TP honestly, but Rengar has no ult, so watch out. If we ward both sides in here, we ward the river, sort of, we ward like this side. Rengar does not have a really good entrance, you know, if we ward like all around areas he could possibly get in the pit, right? And we also
Yep.
broke Glass Cone, just I guess if there is a random chance he's gonna be there. The reason why I say it, he ulted, you know, so there is no other way for him actually to jump in the pit. Unless, I don't think Rengar can actually jump on the Baron as I know. I think he needs to have a certain amount of movement speed to do so, but I don't know if that mechanic is still in the game actually. But that's what I would aim to do. I would just like sort of force that Baron, you know. Rengar got also... I don't really like what you're doing right now, like forcing in here. It's a bit weird, I guess you didn't die out of that, but I would just simply get Baron off, you know, instead of going this slow, because the issue is, no matter how hard you fight them, if they don't die, they're gonna just wave clear and there is no pushing, you know. So instead of going this low and getting a little bit of minion and some poke on them, you could just get the Baron, you know.
Yeah.
That's my point, you know, because your team is 14 to 31, so with Rengar being dead, there is no realistic way for them to contest Baron, you know.
Yeah.
So then it just sucks, because we get Baron, 2 inhibs are down, maybe 3 inhibs are down. Each lane, right? There will be 2 super minions that are also empowered by Baron, which means that they are screwed because they can't really actually like deal with that, because they actually don't have a way to wave clear those anymore, you know, and the minions themselves gonna slowly end the game, you know. So it's like then they're actually pressured, you know.
Mm-hmm. I buy double Kindle Gem. I hate Kindle Gem. It's the worst item in the game, I swear.
You could take the gates, by the way. I think the whole game you forgot to take the gates, because I never seen you taking them.
Yeah, I'm not used with it. This season I didn't play too much.
Yeah, I think you gotta do it more and more until it's a habit, because it's something you will always forget about if you don't do it, you know?
Yep.
Because the decks are always changing, so like some games you don't need to do it, so you are like, well, I don't need to do this, you know? So sometimes it's like forgiving. So what do we do here? So generally you don't wanna like force this hard until the minion waves are not pressuring, which means like if the minions waves are pressuring, then someone needs to defend, you know, and then we wanna force. But Rengar is dead, so we could maybe do something, because they can't really kill us, right? We are really fed, right? So
Yep.
even forcing like this is not that bad. Yeah, it's fine. Now in here, you shouldn't basic attack the minions, you should walk forwards and don't use your E. Right now, if you get a good E on someone, you could possibly end the game, you know? So you ulted for nothing, okay. Can we escape now? We
Yep.
can. Okay. Okay. That sucks. I mean,
No, we kill her.
you guys kill her. Okay. Okay. Do you kill them
With
as
her.
well? Okay, I guess you kill them as well. One thing you also forget sometimes to turn on and off your W, you know, in these combats, you know, that's what I noticed as well, or when you clear waves. Like sometimes you just kind of like forget to do it, but it's something that should be a muscle memory on Urgot, you know.
Yep.
To constantly do this turn ups and downs on your Ws and your basic attacks. Okay, so we got the inhib though. So we just wave clear. Now this is where Revenus is actually kinda useful, because it allows you to shove, you know, so sort of you can like shove and leave these waves faster, you know, or just either like push hard with them, you know. You kill her? One more? One more? She died?
Yep. Yeah, she died.
I won't say that's worth honestly, because I just like a support for a big shutdown, you know. Okay. Okay. Now even here I would probably just go gargoyles, because your team already can provide enough damage, you just kinda need to survive, you know. I think like gargoyles would be fine. I don't know if you really need to go more offensive, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's fine if you want to. But I think you already have enough damage, same as your teammates, you know. So I think like it's more valuable if you live a little longer, you know. Honestly, I would TP there. Two people are dead. With the pressure of the minion wave, we could force the towers down, no, or something. I think we could do something, because as fat as we are, we could just like try to force, no. Yeah, just a trade card. Yeah, it's just kind of like end. Yeah,
Yeah, we end here.
just get the victory. Alright, so how would you rate this coaching session?
S plus.
S plus, that's great.
Thank you, Gabi. What can I say? Of this coaching, I
You're
learned a
welcome.
lot.
But there was a DM, but Monarch deleted it. What was that even? I clicked on it. Is it the invisible message? What do you think about this coaching session, Clary? She's the owner of the server.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Nice to meet you, Clary.
Okay, you can be the next one, Monarch, if you want to. All you need to do is just leave feedbacks on those specific. I was listening most of the time without viewing, but it seemed to be informative. Listening, oh.